everybody, it's Christine. Time for Scrapbook Process video. And if I plan this out correctly, this will be the 31st, so it'll be the last one for the month. And what I'm working on here is, this is a picture my daughter sent me of her and her little beau. He's too cute, she's too cute. And I got this, I'm kind of breaking, I keep meaning I'm trying to use older stuff, but then really cute stuff shows up, y'all. It's too cute. Scrapbook Flavors of the Month came, and this is one for January 2023. And this is the Bella Boulevard's Love Song. And it just looks so cute, you know, with them. So I'm going to have to use it. And then I found an Instagram layout here from Gloria Scraps. Looks like it's from 4 days ago, so it's not that old. Woohoo! I'm up on top of things. What I like about it is she's got a little bit bigger picture, which is fine. But I do like all these little patterns on the left-hand side. And then she's just kind of got it just covered in embellishments, which I'm all for that. So my goal is to do something like that. Now, because at Scrap Room, you don't get a ton of embellishments. There's little bits in here. So I may end up having to get into my stash. We'll see. But there is little doilies and, you know, little cut-aparts and things here, or little ephemera and stuff. So I won't be using Girl Squad. But there's some cute stuff in here. So that's my goal. I did get into my stash because there's not really, I shouldn't say there's no title, but I kind of liked, I saw this in my stuff. It's the Storyteller, and it has, I thought You and I could be really cute. So I think I might use that as the title. So let me get to pulling stuff out here and cutting up, and I'll come back on in a minute. Y'all, I recorded this voiceover, had the wrong intro image, deleted the voiceover thinking I had the wrong video. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is a second recording of this thing. So the first thing I did is I did tear my little pages that I showed you guys. Now the weird part is it looked more evident on the black and white, but I did tear too much of a diagonal, so I have to kind of straighten that up a little bit. But it was kind of weird to me that I could see more of it on the black and white than I could on the rainbow. But I needed to kind of straighten that up, and then I'm going to use this little musical note as my third little pattern. I have had people comment sometimes that it's hard for them to use multiple patterns, or, you know, they struggle to layer patterns or whatever. But I guess my one tip would be have different size of your patterns. In other words, like the rainbow's a little bigger, and then the little heart on the black is, I wouldn't call it medium size because it's a small little heart, but the musical notes are even smaller. And plus I have some good contrast. So, I make that comment because I thought about using the floral, but the floral that I matted the photo with is almost the same size as the rainbows, and it just wasn't going to look right. So I matted the photo with the floral, and then did a second mat with a little pink on red, like tone on tone kind of thing, so the photo kind of stands out. And I put that doily over there because I realized I have a black background, and I had picked that puffy title I think I mentioned to you in the intro was You and I. Well, if I put the black on the black, you couldn't see it. So I ended up with the doily on the right-hand side, which is totally fine anyway, because in her inspiration layout, there's kind of a cluster on the right-hand side of that photo, of her photo too. So no problem. I thought about putting the doily up there in the top, but that was a little bit, it just didn't look right to me. I didn't want to pull a second doily up there. It didn't feel right, so I decided not to. Now here's where I'm going to start just kind of dry fitting these various pieces of ephemera, because I did put those all out to the side. I'm going to cut away, though, because this takes me a few minutes, and I don't know, I was watching it, and I thought, well, this is kind of boring. I don't really know why, but it really was boring to me. I tried that little Polaroid thing up there in the top, and I don't put it black on black, because I was like, oh, that's black on black. It's not really showing up, even with my little circle in the middle. But I got off into my stash, so I have the kit from Scrap Room, but as I mentioned, hers had tons of little embellishments kind of going up and down. So I got into my stash, and I found a bunch of little pink pieces, right? So on my little craft mat, you can see pieces I pulled from my stash, and then that pink tag up there I pulled from my stash, which I'm kind of pleased with, because I promise you that tag is 10 years old. I don't even know how old it is. It's so old. It technically had a little brown ring on it, but I just took a marker and colored it black so it matched. I will end up inking the edges of that with smoked hickory, no, not hickory, soot, black soot, the oxide ink. And I kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because I do smear it, but I end up figuring out a way to kind of make it look okay. I've said this before, but I love the fact that with scrapbooking, like almost with any creative process, really, there's not really mistakes necessarily, right? You just kind of incorporate into your design what you did. So when I kind of smeared my ink up there, I'm going to end up just kind of incorporating it into the design a bit. or covering it up, no problem. Like I said, I'm pulling off all these little pieces here. That little piece right there also came from my stash. So you can kind of see the little paper clip with the heart thing on it's from the stash, the little exclamation points from my stash. The Today actually came from a fairly recent hip kit, but it was back in my stash because I've killed that kit basically. And now you can see most of my little embellishments. I've kind of got them down there. I did find this little thing that says, "You're my cup of tea" in my stash. And I love that because I mentioned this is my daughter and her new boyfriend. And they own a nutrition club where they sell energy teas. So this was kind of cute because it's, "You're my cup of tea," and it just kind of goes together. And I've kind of built that cluster up there in the right. I kind of like that. That's a little different than what she has. She did like journaling up in that corner there, but I really like how this turns out. Now you notice it's going off the edge, so I will end up trimming that. So it's obviously not going to stay that way, but I like this. It looks kind of neat, and it's, like I said, it's kind of going off the edge and stuff, which is cool. And I have built, like I said, I built all those clusters on the left, going up above the picture and all that. Now, what I do also have over there, you can kind of see there's the puffy hearts on the craft mat right there. That's come from another Hip Kit Club set. I don't remember which collection now, but it's a bunch of puffy hearts, and so I ended up pulling the pink ones off of there to use that. And then I don't see it in my camera view here, but I do have an older Stampin' Up! Punch as well that has 3 little hearts, and I'm going to end up punching the 2 sets of those out of that same paper that I matted the photo with, which is the little tone on tone, kind of pink on red or whatever. I'm going to punch a few of those hearts out. I kind of wanted to, she had a bunch of hearts going on hers, and I really did want to incorporate a bunch of hearts on here because it's, it's not Valentine-y, but it is like lovey or whatever. So I'm just kind of looking here, and I think I put foam up underneath that black flower there, and I put foam up underneath the "You're My Cup of Tea," and of course the photo. And I think that's actually all I do with the foam. I don't really do much else with the foam, which is kind of funny because there's tons of it. Little pieces here. I probably could have done some with the hearts and all that, but I don't. But there's plenty of dimension because I have some chipboard, and of course, there's different little like layered stickers. Like that exclamation point there is like a layered sticker. So I'm just kind of touching. Of course, how I do. I'd like to touch everything. So after I get a phone call, so unfortunately I don't get to show you guys. There's where I have punched out the hearts. You can kind of see it at the very top up there. I have 3 little hearts with my little puffy heart. And then I have some more hearts kind of sprinkled down in there. I did decide to go ahead and pull out my Mr. Huey's opaque white and sprinkled some white around just to give some little, somethings. And then I'm going to, in a second, you can see those little jewels on that strand there that comes with this little Scrap Room Flavors of the Month. And I will use every darn little jewel on there. Mostly because, well, I do like all the jewels, but also I have a whole container full of jewels. I'm like, I don't need to add any more to my stash. So I'm going, you know what? Just use them all, Christine. If I have enough paper to do another layout, I will do another layout with this collection. But I've got plenty of jewels. So I'm just going to stick them all on here. So I just kind of sprinkle them throughout and make it all shiny and pretty. And that's about all I'm going to do the layout. So in just a moment, I'm going to slow it down and I will show you the details here. I think it's a nice homage to the original. And anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you are on Instagram, make sure you check out my Instagram at Scrapping Harden. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed. And actually check out my Instagram because I'm going to post, wait, I've already done it. Never mind. Ignore that. Sorry. I'm going to have already had a voting. But anyway, you guys have a great day and we will talk to you next time. Bye.